Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Home, and I have a home to show you that I've just completed. A lot of you have watched from the groundbreaking of this home. We completed a home about a month ago. We've got another home this week, and we've also completed another home on the mountain. Maybe sometime I'll share you that one. But this today is a special home because it's probably the most energy efficient home ever built in my part of this state that I'm building in. In fact, I'm quite confident it's the most energy efficient home that's ever been built in southern Utah. And I'm going to explain why I'm making that claim. Let's go walk through the home. But first, I want to explain a couple things on this home. This home has a 100-year roof, plus it's going to last a very long time. It's an aluminum shingle roof, so that alone acts as a full radiant barrier on the home that can save up to 30% on the utilities of the home. The exterior of the home is an OmniBlock home. I've made some posts on this. We've actually interviewed Denny Miller, who's the president of OmniBlock. So this exterior of the home is OmniBlock. So I've got like a CMU block wall, but it's got styrofoam inserts in it. So it acts as a thermal battery in a way. And I'll go in and I'll show you what I mean by that. So the whole envelope of the home, and that's where your energy efficiency comes in. The envelope of the home is a very, very efficient home. So let's walk through the home. My client's moving into it this next week. So I've got to show it now, even though landscaping is still in process, but I wanted to at least get you a picture, some views of the home before they move in. So let's go check it out. Okay, got a double door, which is kind of interesting for a front door. Works out great. Double doors are typically not that easy to install, but this one here was installed very well, and we got a good seal on it. He wanted to have a door that has a welcoming feeling for the entire neighborhood. This is Joe's home. Hey, Joe, and a really neat guy. I finished a home for him. But I wanted to show you something here. As we get inside here, we got a closet right inside here. And because we have an OmniBlock home, we brought in some wiring inside the exterior wall here. So we ended up using some stackable switches here. We added some additional lights on the outside and whatnot, but we were limited because of the size of the box. If you find that to be a case, you can do stackable switches. And this one here turns on the light outside and also turns on the light inside the closet. So that's one way. If you've found that you can't add another switch horizontally, just go ahead and put some stackable switches in there. Kind of solve that problem for us. So all the closets have a lot of space. This is an open living area. Plus we've got an open living area in here with the kitchen, dining area here with more open living. It's the way kind of he broke it up for himself. But I want to show you a couple of really interesting things with the kitchen. But before we go there, I wanted to mention to you why this home is so efficient. If you go out here and you look, this is an 8-inch thick wall. It's actually thicker than that. It's 8.5 plus maybe a 1/4 inch of the stucco on the outside. It's almost 9 inches thick. This here is OmniBlock. It's a solid CMU block wall with styrofoam inserts and styrofoam inserts. The first 1/4 inch of this home is where all the efficiency is. I've got what's called a thermal mass here. So if it's in the wintertime and I'm heating the air in the living area here, it's being banked and preserved and held as a bank in the first 1/4 inch of this wall. That's called a thermal density, a thermal mass. And that helps to maintain the ambient temperature in the room. Typically on a home, you have drywall and you stuff the wall full of insulation. But if you were to fill the other side of the drywall, it'd feel warm or it'd feel cold, whatever you're trying to keep the temperature of in this room. So you're losing energy inside the wall. Here, we stop that within the first 1/4 inch, all right? And on top of that, if it's got really 110 degrees out there and it's facing us, like the sun is facing us right now, that sun, even if it baked on that exterior wall, is going to take a long time to reach the inside of this wall. In fact, it's going to take longer than the full length of a day. By the time the sun goes down, the heat starts to cool on that exterior wall. It's never going to reach inside here during a hot summer day. Likewise, in the winter, the heat that I'm building up in here to maintain, it's not really going to leak outside. So this is where the power of the wall, as you can see, that's my interior partition framing. There's a closet on the other side. That's basically a hollow wall. Even if I had insulation in that, you could still hear that hollowness here. This is solid concrete. So in an earthquake, this home is not going anywhere. There's rebar and there's everything inside there, concrete. It's a very, very solid home. All of you people who live in the Midwest that have your homes torn down for tornadoes, you should be building with this structure. I'll say no more. So let's walk in the kitchen here. Here's a kitchen. The countertops were put up a little bit higher. My client's tall. He's about 6'3", 6'4". And I don't like putting counters so low when you have a tall person. I'm 6 foot. And if I'm in a kitchen that's so, my back aches. I don't know if your back has aches. Think about that. We put these up just a little bit higher. We have a nice facing west window. But here's what was interesting. We did in the kitchen is we actually have a hidden pantry. This looks like an actual cupboard, but it's actually a pantry. And this is what my client wanted. It was kind of a nice little touch. He wanted to just kind of keep his storage in his pantry that way without really seeing that he has a huge pantry in there. So, and it's actually very spacious in there. You can actually go in there and take a look. We also did another thing here. We came up with this idea for my client. He loves the movies. He's actually in the movie industry. I won't say any more than that. But I wanted a hidden theater. So we actually found a kit that we found. And it looks like just a shelf that was built in the walls, but it's actually a door that goes into a hidden theater room. And this is where he'll hang out, watch movies, have some fun with his family. Just a little hidden theater. And given the sound density of this wall, and it's going to be an incredibly again, the auditory sensory capacity of this room is very powerful. You can tell that by moving in that room to this room, there's no echo. So it's going to be a great movie. I got to watch a movie in here with Joe. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we got a hidden theater room. Given that there's so much open space here, he wanted to separate kind of the living from, the private area. So we put some barn doors up there. And we'll go down there in just a second. The laundry room's here with an exterior mudroom. And this is something I really do recommend for a lot of people. If you do have a laundry room, try to put it on an exterior wall and try to have an exterior door come into the laundry room. Then it works as a mudroom at the same time. Now, a mudroom is typically in those areas of farming communities or whatnot. People come in the house and they have muddy shoes. I'm a general contractor. Ask my wife. I come home all the time with dirty shoes and I track stuff all the time. Well, if I had a mudroom, I would come in through the mudroom and take off my boots and let them be there and put on some sneakers or whatever and walk through the house. But that's what a mudroom is. It's typically an adjoining wall or a wall on the exterior with a door. So we put a door in there. So let's walk down here. You'll notice the hallways are actually very wide. They're 4.5 feet wide. I love hallways that are at least 4 feet wide. Once you get to about 3.5 feet wide, it feels cramped. This is very open. In fact, if this was being built for a disabled person, this is the ideal home for that because everything is ADA compliant if you're a disabled person. So we didn't build it for that in mind, but we built it for the spaciousness of the home. All of our closets, we have tons of storage throughout the home. And we even have our attic access, which is inside the closets and not in the open living area. And we have another bathroom here, or the first bathroom. This is a middle bathroom. It's got a shower in there and a large linen closet, double sinks. And again, our pantries or our linen closets are actually very big. They're not just very shallow, but they're actually very big, and they offer a lot of opportunity for storage. When it comes to showers, I like the cast iron shower, but there are some plastic tubs that are out there that have kind of some plastic and rubber on the outside, and I think a lot of the cast iron ones do as well. There's a reason for that. If the shower is going and you're filling it up with water, it acts as an insulator so that the tub isn't cold. It's not cooling down the water. But I do love the cast iron tubs because it makes for a real clean look. And it's more sturdy. And when you stand in it, you don't feel like, oh man, am I going to break that tub? But I like my shower tile to go all the way to the ceiling. It makes it so that it's something, if you ever have to paint the home, you don't have to tape off the shower. It's just got a clean look all the way around. And then if you look at some tile shelving here, I do this on all my homes. A lot of tile guys can know how to do this. They take the tile that you've got here, they cut out a section inside the tile, and they take two and they smash them together. They actually seal them together with inset, and then they double up, and then they put the Schluter trim right there. So it gives a nice shower, and they angle it just ever so slightly so that if there's water, whatever, it's going to drip on, it's not going to puddle back in there. So I love that type of a touch. I don't like the built-in areas because I've seen so many problems with those. This here's built in and it's easy access. And you can put them lower if you wanted to. We'll show you one here in the other shower where you can put your feet up. Down the main hall down this way, we've got two spare bedrooms here, each with their own walk-in closet. This one here has a walk-in closet to the left, and as you walk into this one also has a walk-in closet off to the right as you walk inside that, and they all have their extra windows, and we get another storage area inside the hallway. This is, I talked with an architect a long time ago, and he says, hallways are wasted space, and I do agree with that. But if you're smart and you're building a long hallway and you have ancillary rooms off to the side of the hallway, fill that up with storage. Fill that up with very deep, very accessible storage, whether it's linen or what have you. That way that the hallway is useful. It's not just sucking up space. Back in the 70s, even through the 80s and 90s, we built these homes where they're basically a rectangle house, and they have the rooms off the side of the hallway. And then architects came along and said, let's not waste up space. Let's make it more accessible, more open space. And I think more people are realizing that the hallways do add some purpose if you can utilize the accessibility and the usability within inside that hallway. And that's what we've done. We've got a large storage here, and we've got another storage here, and then the bathroom is right off that way. So it works out great on this design. This here's a master bedroom. Again, a bed would go here, and we have a his and her access basically for a large walk-in closet behind that bathroom, or not behind that bathroom, behind that bedroom. And I think that's a very nice touch because it's not connected to the bathroom. I've seen a lot of designs where you have to walk through the bathroom and even through the toilet area to get to your closet, basically. And here it's just fully accessible. When you wake up, change your clothes, put on some clothes, whatever, or you use the restroom or use the bathroom. It's nice. It's a nice touch. I actually like this. If I were to do a design on my home, I'd actually have them separated. We did add another barn door here, just being very popular. I don't like pocket doors. Pocket doors are flimsy. It's hard to grab the latch and put your finger in there to get the latch to open and shut it. Barn doors, if they're done right, they're very smooth, and it gives you the privacy you need, but has a nice touch. The trick, of course, is before you even do drywall, make sure that you've got some bracking and support behind there so that when those bolts are put on there, they have something to grab a hold of. That's something you do in your framing stage. So, come into the bathroom here. This here is the finished product with that shower I did some posts on earlier. I actually talked about the membrane of this shower and the preparation of the shower way back when we were still in a framing stage. I did some posts on this. And this is what I like. It's my personal thing. I have what's called a zero tolerance for thresholds. This is a zero threshold shower, which means the minute you walk in there, it actually starts to tilt just a little bit and drain towards the shower. And if it's done right and your shower is over here and the water's falling down here, it's really not going to get out here. And if it does, it's nominal. But for the most part, it's all going to drain into here. And even if you had a wheelchair could get right here and come into the shower. And you see I've got a step right there in the shower. And that's where if you want to put your leg up and you needed to do some shaving or even some other things, you put your shampoo and whatnot, we've got a step right there inside the shower. We've also got another insert in the wall. Now, when we framed that wall inside the shower, we made that wall a little thicker, a 2x6 wall, so we could get an extra deep shelving inside there, which you'll see when you get in there. And of course, you got a rain shower, the head that's in there. And we took our Schluter and our trim, we took it all the way to the edge of this and made a real nice, clean look. I've got some great tile guys who make me look good. So, and then double sink, and we got a bathtub right behind us. One thing you want to notice with bathrooms like this is where the camera's at. He's backing up right now into what's called the toilet area. And you want to keep your toilet area separate from your bathroom so that you can actually shut the door. I've seen a lot of people, even owner builders, they will actually take the toilet and make it part of this open room. And if you're married, maybe that might not work very well. So try to keep that separate, and also put a fan in that room so that it can be ventilating privately from inside that room. And a lot of people put the fan in this room when the fan should be in for that room. So things to think about. And also, if you're going to do windows, make sure it's an obscure window. It's not a see-through window. I had a client about a year ago. They didn't want to put what's called candy glass or milked glass or obscured glass. They didn't want, well, I want to see the outside. And I go, you might not want that. So when it comes to a bathroom, you might want to be very cautious about the window you put in there. You could put a transom window that's easy to move. It gets all steamy in here. Put a transom window in there and then put another window below there. Sometimes you might want to have that ventilation. Sometimes it can get real cold and just a little bit of a hot water can steam up the whole place. Those rare times, then it just gets foggy really bad on a super, super cold night. Then you might want to have a transom up there real quick, or even a real hot summer day, just to get some fresh air inside here. So let's walk outside real quick. I live in a very arid climate, and the summers can be very, very hot, about 110, 112, even up to as high as 114 degrees. And that summer heat can just be very, very unbearable sometimes. So when I talk with my client, I said, let's just do a covered porch, and we'll do a covered porch as a transition from the house to the garage as well, which we'll show you here in just a second. But that covered area is a very vital thing for a lot of environments. If you were living in a very rainy environment, like in Seattle or even Oregon on the coast, somewhere like that where there's a lot of rain, I would want a covered porch. Covered deck means that you're not going to have weathering, you're not going to have maintenance issues. This here, for example, this particular trim underneath the covered deck here is going to stay nice for a very long time. Same with these posts here. These posts are pretty much covered. They'll get some morning sun right about here. But if you notice, I've got a 2.5 foot eave that way. So all of the wood, the exposed wood of this building, even on the front porch, is going to be very maintenance free. In fact, this here beam and that trim there is the only area that of this entire home that you would ever have to maintain for years and years and years. Stucco will last a long time. You may want to do some new paint on the stucco in 25, 30 years, maybe 40 years. But this here is a very maintenance-free home. And if you notice, remember I talked about those posts? I did it on a post a long time. I made these saddles to support the beam inside, and then we have J-bolts at the bottom of this, and the J-bolt came all the way down, and when we poured the concrete, we set that J-bolt perfectly level. And literally, this beam is sitting on nuts about that big, hex nuts that are going on inside that J-bolt. So it's not really sitting right flush on the concrete. There's about a 1/2 inch of air gap on there, so it's not going to get any wet. Even if it got wet, it's just going to drain out through the bottom of that because there's holes on the bottom of that. It's very well built, very efficient. It's not going to have any problems for a very long time. I'm glad I designed that, and I didn't buy those from that company that we will not mention. Let's walk around here. On this home, we actually designed the mechanical room to actually be accessible from outside the house. We've got our tankless water heater up here, which is gas powered, endless water, which is the only way to go. Got a water softener here, so it's really accessible. You can stack some rock salt right here, fill the tank up with water and rock salt, and we're good to go. Here's what's really interesting. Typically on a house this size, we would need 2 of these units. But because of the OmniBlock, which is right here, this is the OmniBlock wall, we are able to size down our HVAC unit system. So this here actually heats the entire home. This is about a 2,800 square foot home. And it works great. It came to just right at that soft spot where we were only able to use two of these. I did another home for some clients, and it was about the same size home, a little smaller square feet, maybe 150 square feet less, but they had to have 2 units in it. Even though it was a 2x6 wall, this here is an 8-inch thick wall, and it's an OmniBlock wall. So we were able to save on our utility costs. Then we've got all of our power here, which is our entire panel here inside this room. So I got HVAC, water, soft water, and even low voltage, all inside this mechanical room. And then we have some space left over, which we have for paint, miscellaneous things we have for the home. That it's additional little storage for all the utilities and things you may need in a home. But again, we were going to originally have this as a door come right through here, but that's going to come through the theater room, and we didn't want to interrupt that. So it wasn't a problem to have this as long as it's accessible from the outside under this deck. It was great. It was a great decision we made. And the other thing is that you can walk from the garage to the house, again, under cover of protection of the elements. So you're never going to get wet. And this garage is also an OmniBlock garage. It's got a big echo in here, so beware of that. We got supplies in here. We're in the process of doing the installation. What's interesting is you can hear my echo, but when I talk and when I stop talking, I want you to listen very carefully. I don't hear the freeway. The freeway is about 75 yards that way. This building is also made of OmniBlock, and that's one of the very big advantages with OmniBlock is it's a sound suppression technology. So that's one of the reasons, on top of other reasons, why we chose OmniBlock being so close to the freeway. So when he sleeps in his master bedroom, which is as the crow flies straight that way, he's going to sleep comfortably, and we're not going to have a problem. I even have the condenser unit outside his master bedroom wall. And he said, is that going to be a problem? No, it's not going to be a problem. The OmniBlock is going to suppress any noise or sound that condenser is going to make. Let's go out there and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're on the north side of the home, and we put our condenser unit on this side of the home. I always like to put condensers on the north side of the home, or the cooler side of the home, or the shady part of the home, because it's a little more efficient for these units. I've seen a lot of builders where they actually put these on the south side of the home or really not care, and then it's facing that baking sun all day long, and that's not very efficient. But notice that this here's that bathroom here with the candy glass and the upstairs glass, and right here is the master bedroom. So they're not going to hear this, even though it's a very quiet, not very noisy at all unit. Even despite that, if this was a 2x4 wall or even a 2x6 wall, you could possibly hear that through the wall. You're not going to hear anything through this wall with the OmniBlock. I want to show you a couple of other things. Just walk around this way. I did some other posts dealing with drains on this home. This home is on what's called collapsible soil. Now, if you've seen the original posts when we started this house, we had an 8-foot overX on this home. I don't want any water getting anywhere near the foundation of this home. Even though we did compaction, we passed all our compaction tests, we did everything right, I still don't want water anywhere near the foundation, which is why we've got a concrete skirt going all the way around the home. This here is skirting the home, even off that side. But anywhere where I have some issue, we have some drains that will be connecting to the rain gutters right here. We still have to connect that one. But over this way, I've got some rain gutters. And I took these rain gutters and I ran them underneath the driveway, and they go all the way out to the street. So you see this rain gutter here actually comes down, goes into a pipe that we've installed, and that water is going to be captured, and it's going to go all the way down here. It's not going to, the worst thing you can do, especially on the soil that I've got here, is just let that drain there and go right into the substrate of the foundation. You don't want that, not when you have collapsible soil. So we took all that water and we're extricating it all the way out to the street. And you'll see there's a hole in the street about that big where we actually cut into the curb of the curb, and we have our pipe and we glued it right in there. So this is going right out to, that's typically what a lot of municipalities want and cities want. If you're going to take the water, take it out to the street. Do not connect this to the sewer. I've seen people do that. you want to take it out to the street. So we've done that on this home. Anyway, a beautiful home. I thank you for letting me give you this tour and explaining to you some of the technologies, some of the things we've done. I'm very pleased with this home. It's a gorgeous home. It's a home I can put on my portfolio, and it's a home that I could live in myself. And I like to build things that I would love to live in myself. So thank you for sharing. We will be doing the landscaping on this over the next 2 or 3 months, but I wanted to get this to you real quickly before my client moves in. Remember also, every Thursday at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, I'm doing an open chat. So if you're interested and want to have some questions about the process of owner building, being your own general contractor, what it takes, any questions you have, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Time and 6, 7 Central and Eastern Time. Check in, come with your questions, and if it takes an hour or two or whatever, I'll be glad to answer your questions. I look forward to that. We start this Thursday, and it's going to happen every Thursday thereafter, except for maybe a holiday. You guys take care. This is Keith Kels with How to Build Your Own Home.